of the next few hours, I'm going to share with you what I have learned in my own bed and breakfast business, which I took from making almost nothing to making over the equivalent of $130 a year with just 4 rooms and no online travel agents, all my own work. And I'm not telling you that to brag, but I'm telling you that to inspire you that if I've done it, then you can do it too. Because the truth is, I don't have any special powers. I don't have any superpowers. I'm just the same as you. The only difference between you and I is I've learned a few things that you don't yet know, and I've done a few things that you haven't yet done. That's the only difference between you and I. So let me start by saying a huge, huge thank you for you, for taking this time to invest in yourself and your business. It's so, so important for you to take the time to invest. Not just with your money, but with your time. Because we can get so bogged down in the day-to-day mundane running of the business and the cleaning and the laundry and the breakfast and the guests that we don't actually take a step back and look at what we're doing and whether it's working or not. But you're here with me today, and I want to thank you for taking that time for yourself. So what's changed in this industry? What's changed? Well, a lot's changed. Over the last 5 years in particular, and perhaps even sooner than that, a lot has changed in this industry. And I want to start by just kind of taking stock of where we are, how we got here, and what's happened over the last 5 years. So if you were like me, when I started my B&B business back in 2000, I opened it as a hobby business. It wasn't really to make any money, it was just something for me to do. My husband had a marvellous job working with a little champagne company called Moet et Chandon, you may have heard of. And I was just a bit bored home alone with our 2 girls while he was away travelling the world and staying in top-class hotels and drinking vintage champagne and eating at fancy restaurants, and I was home alone. So I opened my B&B business as a way of having something to do and a way of meeting people, because I just love meeting people. And we loved it. We loved it. We opened when we wanted to, we closed when we wanted to, because we didn't depend on the money. But all that changed in 2004 when he lost his job. And it was difficult for him to get another job. And with our girls, who are now 12 and 14, never lived in the UK, we thought, well, you know, maybe now's the moment for us to go back to the UK. And the truth is that it was going back to the UK for us, but it was going to the UK for the first time for them, and that was an enormous step. And I don't know if you've ever had an experience like that where, you know, something looks like this, but it actually turns out to be this. Well, we had a lot of those experiences in the UK. So we closed the B&B, we rented out our home, and off we trotted back to the UK. And then things got very interesting. We started a little business, which failed. We started another business, which failed. And then the crisis came in 2008. And we lost that business in the crash of 2008. And maybe you can relate. Maybe something like that has happened to you too. I know it happened to a lot of people, and a lot of people suffered in 2008. Well, we suffered too, and we lost our business. And then the start of 2009, we had pretty much no money, no income, no job, and our family was suffering emotionally, and my husband was depressed, and our youngest daughter was depressed, and the whole shebang. And so 2009 saw us pretty much no money, no income, no job, and then the final straw happened in 2009 when our rented house in the UK actually caught fire, and we were now homeless. So no job, no money, no income, and now homeless. So we lived in a caravan. We moved into a caravan that somebody owned, and we lived in that caravan for 4 months. And I don't know if you've ever thought to yourself, what the heck is happening here with your life? How could we have gone from this fabulous lifestyle in Champagne, where we were just mixing with the great and good of the champagne world, drinking lots of vintage champagne and partying like nothing on earth, to being homeless and living in a caravan? How does that happen? Well, I got really curious about that. and I started to study psychology. And in particular, why people do the things that they do. And I'll get onto that in a bit later. But I just want you to picture this. Here we are, living in a caravan, homeless, jobless, no money. Our tenants had left our house in France, and we decided one day, what the heck are we doing here? Let's go back home to France. I knew that if everything else failed, that I could open my B&B business and I could do that. I had no clue whether it would work or not, or how well it would work, or whether in fact I could do it. But I knew that if there was one thing I could do is open a B&B. So we got back home to France, and then things got worse. So we couldn't pay the money, we couldn't pay the gas bill, so the gas got cut off. And then one day, as I was boiling some water to wash, there was a knock at the door, and it was the bailiffs with papers to repossess our home. And I don't know what happened to me in that moment, but something clicked in my head, and I just thought, no, no way. No way is anybody going to take my home. We'd lost so much already, not just financially, but emotionally as well. And there was no way that anybody was going to take my home away. No way. So I said to the bailiffs, what do I need to do? And they said, you need to contact the bank. We've been trying to contact you for the last 10 months. You haven't paid the mortgage for 10 months, which was a complete shock to me. He said, you need to contact the bank. So I wrote out a long letter to the bank. I had it professionally translated to French, and I put it in the postbox with a prayer. And I waited. And sure enough, the letter came back from the bank, and I didn't open it for a couple of days because I was really too scared, and I thought, oh my God, what if they don't accept my proposal? And so it sat there, and it sat there, and it sat there, and then I finally plucked up the courage to open this envelope, and they accepted my proposal, and it was like, yes! Yes, yes, yes! And then it was like, oh my God, I've got to do something now. I've got to do something. What am I going to do? So I reorganised the accommodation, and now we had 4 rooms in our B&B. And I got to work. And in the first year, from making almost nothing the previous year, in the first year I made 50,000 euros, which is about $70,000 US. And in the second year I made 103,000 euros, which is the equivalent of 130,000 US dollars. Amazing, right? I was absolutely amazed, because I don't know if you know this, but in this industry in Europe, the average B&B makes around 18,000 euros a year, which is about 25,000 US dollars. And over 51% of them make less than 10,000, and I was one of those. And along the way, I got 3 TripAdvisor awards, certificates of excellence from TripAdvisor, 3 years in a row. I then won a coveted online marketing award, which is really well known in the online world. And I wrote a book, and then other people started asking me for help. And so now I coach and mentor other B&B owners around the world from my home in France online. So I'm going to share with you over the next couple of hours exactly what I did. I've broken it down into 3 crucial systems that you need to have in place in your B&B business in order to thrive in the 21st century. And they all involve online marketing, because that is the thing that has changed everything for everybody, not just this industry, but for everybody. And those who embrace it will be fine, and those who don't will not. It's as simple as that. So you're here with me today. I know that you want to know this stuff, and I know that you're ready to embrace change. And if you think of it like this, when the Industrial Revolution happened back in the middle of the 19th century, there were those who embraced it, and there were those who got left behind. It's always like that. And we're in the middle now of a revolution in terms of how we do business, like we've never seen before, because now we have the power to communicate with people on the other side of the world at the push of a button. And that has never happened before in the history of mankind, and it's so exciting. So I'm going to share with you these 3 crucial systems. But before I do that, I want to share with you a couple of other things that are going to be crucial for you to understand these systems and for you to implement what you're learning here with me today. And the first thing I want to talk about is how we run our businesses and how the internet has changed, okay? So back in the day, before the internet, when I was running my B&B in 2000, there wasn't any internet, and so we would passively wait for people to turn up. We would passively wait for the phone to ring. And we would passively wait for the tourist office or somebody to send us guests. We had no way of contacting anybody. We didn't have the technology. So we were all a bit kind of passive. And today's modern day equivalent of that is having online travel agencies send you guests. You're still being passive, you're still operating in the same way if you're using the online travel agencies. And it's fine, you can make a living doing that, you can make a business doing that, but those who are proactive are going to be the winners in this. Because there's only so much that passive can do for you. In order to survive in today's marketplace, in this industry, you've got to be proactive. You've got to be proactive. And the good news is that hardly anybody does it. So the market is wide open. It's like wide open for people who actually embrace it. So that's the first thing I want to share with you. Changing your mindset from being a passive person, a passive business owner, into a proactive marketer. This is crucial to understand. The second thing I want to share is your mindset. And this is really, really crucial too. And I'm just going to demonstrate this with just a couple of examples for me, for my case, and how I changed it. And I know this is going to help you. So when we're thinking to ourselves that we're tired, or that we're computer illiterate, or that we don't know how to do stuff, therefore we can't, then that produces some kind of result for you. So your thinking produces a behavioural pattern that produces a result. If you want to change the results that you're getting in your business, you have to go back through your behaviours to your thinking, because that is the source of your results. And I know that might be a difficult concept for you to grasp right now, but trust me, it's true. From where you're thinking right now, you can only get this result. If you want to get that result, you have to change your thinking process, which will change your behaviours, which will change your result. So if you're thinking to yourself that you can't, you're right, you can't. If you're thinking to yourself, I don't know how, but I'm willing to learn, then you will find a way to learn and to make it happen. So I want you to be really conscious of how you're thinking and what you're saying to yourself in any given moment as to why something isn't working, why you can't do it, and why it's not happening. Every single result that you create in your life comes from your thinking. And this is great news, because it doesn't depend on anything else out there. It doesn't depend on anybody else out there. It just depends on us. So only us are in charge of our thinking. No one else is telling us what to think. We're doing it. And so if we're doing it this way, we can do it that way too. It's just a question of noticing. And I really want you to get this concept, because this is the fundamental cornerstone of every result that you ever create in your life. Totally. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is the trends that are happening out there in the world of business, in the world of the online world for 2015. So when I was doing some research for this event today, I came across an article from Forbes magazine, which is a respected resource online. And they were forecasting 7 top trends for 2015. And here's what they are. Mobile optimization. Well, we all know about mobile, don't we? Because everybody's talking about mobile optimized websites and stuff like that. And so many people are now accessing the information that they want and taking the action they want to take from their phones or from their device while they're out there, rather than coming back home and going to the computer and doing it from there. That's a change, okay? So everything's speeding up and shortening in the time difference between thinking something, finding out what they need to know, and then taking some action. That has really reduced a lot of time. Social media spending on ads will increase as organic reach declines. That's important to know because you may have seen some changes on Facebook recently where you now have to pay by buying an ad to actually reach the people that you were reaching maybe 6 months ago with just an organic post. Because Facebook's all about the money, of course, although it's a social network, they want you to buy an ad. Number 3 is content marketing. So informational marketing, informational educational marketing is crucial for the success of your business these days. Email marketing. Now you may think that email marketing has been around for years and years and years, but actually it's really quite new. And it's changing all the time. As spam filters and firewalls stop your emails from getting through, it's important to have a proper email service provider. And it's on the up, email marketing. How many times a day do you check your emails? I thought so. So number 5 is SEO, content marketing and email marketing will be merged together. So it's all a question of giving good information, giving valuable information via email to the person who wants to receive the information. Number 6 is brands will humanise. Well, gone are the days when we used to, those corporate brands used to hide behind their corporate logos and all their corporate identities. You know, people like you and I, we don't trust those brands anymore, do we? I don't trust them. So that's going to be, they're going to start humanising. They're going to start talking to us now in human terms rather than doing that corporate speak that nobody understands anyway. And the final one is the increase in informational marketing rather than banner advertising, where banner advertising says buy my stuff, and informational marketing helps you to make the decision yourself to buy my stuff. That's going to change a little bit in 2015. So those are the top 7 trends by Forbes magazine. So you can see that they're all online based. So that leads me on to my next bit of research that I did, and this may shock you. Did you know that 40% of the world's population is now online? Isn't that amazing? 40% of the world's population is now online. Like 3 billion people. And what's interesting is that when they started collecting data for this, they started in 1993 and it took 10 years for 1 billion people to get online. 10 years. But it only took 5 years for 2 billion people to get online. And then it took 4 years for 3 billion people to get online. So it's shortening, and I reckon in the next 5 years there's going to be like the whole of the world's population is going to be online. So doesn't it make sense to be good at online marketing? Because that's where everybody is now. So I'm excited about that, because once we learn this stuff, you know, it's a skill for life, it's a skill forever that you'll have in your business and your life when you learn how to market online. And that's really what I'm going to teach you over the next in the course of this summit. I'm going to teach you how to market online in 3 different ways. So, are you excited? I am excited about this. I am really, really excited that you're here and that I'm able to share this with you, because this is a thing that allowed me to have the success I had, and it has allowed my clients to have the success that they've had so massively successfully that it's just really exciting for me to be able to share it with you. So let's move on. So in order to be good at this online marketing thing, we have to bear in mind what the purpose of it is, okay? So I'm going to draw something for you now,